Hey, hello. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com. Come on, let's go for a walk. Yeah, I realize that I've got getting close to 600 videos out now. That's why I've made DVDs. I've been trying to kind of bring everything into smaller sections that you can look at. I do have it, like I say, on my playlist on YouTube, but many videos I've been, like I say, putting on DVDs, and but I know y'all are I don't want to overwhelm you, and so that's why I made the one talking about the ready stuff to be ready, and on the ready list and stuff like that. Like I say, you can go to my website, Hotspot and Ready List. That'll tell you. But all right, now I want to talk about something that I've been asked about, and I don't know why I haven't been asked more, but it's the gold and silver. You have to have gold and silver. I don't understand how I can say it any more important than that. You have to have gold and silver. We are in a world of the unknown. I know a lot of people, now the ones that watch my stuff, like I say, they're the 3%ers. They know things aren't right. But like I say, the time I've already been going through it. So maybe that's another reason why I normally run ahead of the pack anyway. But my life has been changed a lot. And if it wasn't for gold and silver, I would have no life. Gold and silver is that important. Gold and silver is a future. No matter what happens, no matter what, if you have gold and silver, you will have a future. Without gold and silver, I'm not saying you can't go without it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to make it without it. They're probably going to be stealing it from somebody else. But besides that, they'll find somebody that will care for them, and that person's got gold and silver. Gold and silver. I say, I've got videos on it. I'm not going to go through all of the stuff, the reasons and how to do it and all this kind of stuff. Right now, this is the last time I want to talk about this because there's no more time left. I've said this, I think it was probably one of my very first videos, and I think I started making them in 2009, I think. That's when my wife had her final nasty stroke. And during her recuperating time, she told me to start making videos, writing books, and sharing my knowledge. So I think she knew then that I was a little different. And I think she respected me for being with her and having a plan to get us through the situation that we were in. And gold was the key factor. I didn't start with gold. I started with silver because it was much cheaper. And then I was learning. And then at that time, as I learned, my silver deposits would increase. And as they did, I would liquidate them and change them into gold. I'm smarter now. And I don't liquidate my gold and silver. I do in emergencies, such as when my wife had to health issues. And but other than that, I don't. I live within my means, and my means means that I still accumulate gold and silver, even though I am on a limited income. And when I'm down here, it's really limited. But I got myself in good habits. Not only health habits, but I got myself in good financial habits. That means I pay myself first. In other words, if I have money, you'll probably be better than I am, because when I have money, it burns a hole in my pocket. I got to find some place to spend it. So I learned I spend it on gold and silver. This way, I have something other than my big screen TV that's worth what after you bring it home. And see, that's what I'm saying. I have got the worth. There is something there. Okay. What I tell people, first, if you don't have any money and you have a limited income, you're probably spending beyond your means. There's a really good reason why you need to buy some silver. You should be able to at least come up with $20 a month to buy silver. Silver will have worth in money wise. I don't really want to say dollars, because the dollar is ready to die. If you haven't figured that out, you just turn the video off, go someplace else. You're going to have something when there is nothing. And people think, well, yeah, I can get some guns and bullets, and there's going to be lots of stuff that's going to be worth something. Yes, you're right. Now, if you are a security guard, yes, buy some guns and bullets, and that is going to help you have a job when there are no jobs. If you are a nurse or a doctor, get some medical supplies. Because you're going to need the skills themselves aren't worth a damn unless you've got the equipment to back it up. So you're back to gold and silver. You're going to have some worth, and you're going to have skills. Talked about skills. You have to have the skills. But every month, if you get a monthly Social Security, or let's say you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, whenever you get your paycheck, you cash it and you go down to the coin store and you buy $20 worth of whatever. Now, really, what I suggest people do is buy $100 or $200 or $500 or $1,000 a month, depending on what you can afford, and you go to different coin dealers and you ask questions. And some of the questions you ask, you already know the answer. You're waiting to see what kind of answer they're going to give you. What you're looking for is honesty in a dealer. Somebody you can trust. Because once you find somebody you can trust, then you can ask them all kinds of questions and you can start learning. So right now what you're doing is you're trying to find somebody that can teach you. And what I say, you never ask for something without giving something in return. It's better when you have skills to offer in return. If not, in this case, you offer money, $20, $100, $500, whatever, a month for gold and silver. You're asking questions, you're learning. You go to a different dealer. And you ask either the same questions or some other ones, and because, like I say, we're trying to check them out. Who's going to give you and ask them how they figure they're going to charge on this? Do they charge spot plus so much, or what is it? And find out. There's no advantage in a large dealer or a small dealer. A matter of fact, my best dealing right now is with a small dealer. The guy doesn't have much money, so when he buys something, he wants to hurry up and get rid of it. He wants to sell it really quick. So if he can buy it one day and sell it the next day, he is happy to make this much. And he's going to make this much when he buys it, and he's going to make this much when he sells it. Now, some of these people already have a lot of money, some of these dealers. And then what they're going to do is they want that much. In other words, they're not going to pay much, and they're going to want more when they sell it. So this is another reason why you're going around checking all these dealers out. You want to find out if you're dealing with a rich dealer or a poor dealer. And you want to make sure that they're smart and they know what they're doing and they're honest. So that's your key factor. Right now, I would rather you do more amounts each month, and the reason is you're way late. Okay, the gold, as far as I know, the main thing that makes it valuable is its worth. In other words, no matter what happens with the economy, if you have gold, you can start a new life, and you can start a new life anywhere in the world. Silver, on the other hand, you'll see when you start buying them, it takes up a lot of room. It's so cheap that it takes I say, you get $1,000 worth of silver is, a bunch. And then $1,000 in gold is, let me see, I don't have it, but a little coin. Okay, right there's a copper coin, a 1 ounce copper coin. If that was gold, that would be, I don't know, $1,200, depending on the coin. That's another what you're doing, is you're learning what depends on what, and that's what you're learning. And that's what you're going to be doing with the gold and the silver. Now, the silver also has healing value. That's what I'm doing down here. I got a bunch of dimes. Dimes are good because they're cheap. They're easy they're usually a dime. I tell people a dime will buy you a meal. And depends on where you're at, a meal of what. If you're in the bread basket, you can get a meal of bread. You're in Maine, lobster or fish or whatever you're at like that, it'll get you a meal. If you're in cow country, it'll get you, some meat. So a dime has got value like that. But also I use it for the silver content. I think it's pre-1964, and I could be wrong. Maybe you need to ask your coin dealer. Okay, and but you can use coins for, like I say, silver is an antibacteria. So in the old days, they would put it in milk. Remember they had those big tin can things for milk? I think they're 5 gallons. They'd put a silver dollar in there, and that would keep the milk fresher longer. Same thing, they'd put it in a bucket of water. You see the pioneers would be on their wagon, and they'd have that big old bucket strapped on the side of the wagon. They'll have, I know, at least one silver dollar inside there. The silver, like I say, keeps the water better longer. So I'll use it on chigger bites or small burns, you just put a piece of tape and hold it on there, and it'll take the itch right out of the chigger bite. And burns, little burn like that, it'll heal it real quick. That's why you hear me pushing Silver Loan. It's a fabric where they're able to put silver on that fabric. I use that a lot. I carry that with me because, like I say, it is for healing, and it does really good. It'll cut your healing time a lot of times in half. It depends on what it is that's wrong. Broken bones, my wife, stroke recovery. She had an operation on the internal. We laid it on her stomach. So the Silver Loan and silver has a lot of healing properties. You need to get this stuff. I give them for gifts, and I say, it's a necessity. You really have to have this stuff. But like anything, if you don't know how to use it, you're not going to get the true worth out of it. So do your homework on it. But you have to have it. I even tell people, I started telling people over a year ago, don't buy anything. No more. You should already have everything you need. And if you're buying anything, you should be specializing in something. Remember, three-man militia. They're specializing in something. That money that you're spending should be going in learning and getting skills and abilities. That's where your money's going. And so that's why I'm saying you should have all this. You don't need a half a dozen knives. You really don't need a dozen or more guns yet. If you have your gold, and I say now I had my gold a long time ago, and at one time I had over 60 firearms. Now, but the thing is, when I became homeless probably 10, 12 years ago, and that's when I had, what am I going to do with 60 firearms when you're homeless? And so, I mean, I only have so many friends. I have only so many places I can stash my guns. So then I had to cut back on. Now I'm down to probably about 20 or so. But what I'm saying is you got to get your priorities straight. The reality is the first thing is skills and abilities. That's the first thing you need. With skills and abilities, you can do anything, any place. Number two is gold and silver, worth. You need worth. You can already tell, payday, especially on a man. He's got a pocket full of money. Boy, his little chest is high and he's upright walking. Okay. You feel much better when you have worth. So worth is number two. And then all this other kind of, so number one, skills and abilities. Number two, gold and silver. When you have that kind of stuff, you can do the next thing is health. You have to have health. That's what I push my health. The Hoi Chi, I've got, I don't know how many videos. I bet you 100 videos. I know I've got like 60 blogs on health. Because nothing is worth anything if you don't have health. And as a spouse, you have weakened your family if you are not healthy. If you are healthy, you have strengthened your family. So those are the things you need to be concentrating on. And when you have those, all this other stuff you can get. You can get anything if you have those three things. Okay? We'll review it again. Skills and abilities. Gold and silver and health. natural health, not dependent on chemicals. All right. Now, with that, there's no limits on what you can do. Take personal responsibility and do what you got to do. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.